Buongiorno. Hello and welcome to our video review of I Expect You to Die. This is a game that came out. This is an old school game. Came out on 30th of November 2016 on the Rift, and then it came out later on to the Steam store and PSVR, and it's also now available on the Quest. So this is basically everything you could ever imagine. You can get it. Price is I haven't got the dollar price, but it's 18.99, and it's made by Shell Games. This game, I'll pass it over. I'll do my usual trick, and I'll pass it to you, Wes. What is it? What sort of game is this? I
Well,
expect you
this
to die.
it's a puzzle game, and it's generally speaking, it's a trial and error puzzle game. It's something that you have to play with to figure out the right thing to do. If you do the wrong thing, you die, and hence the title. But yeah, this is a straight up puzzle game. It's a stationary puzzle game. There's no locomotion, kind of an escape the room, I guess you would call it, in a way. But yeah, escape the room trial and error puzzle game is how I would categorize it.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. So let's start with the visuals. Obviously, the graphics. This is this is kind of it's not realistic, but it's not really cartoony. It's kind of a blend between the two. I personally think it looks good. I don't think it's a bad looking game. Bruce, what do you think? Did you think this was a good looking game?
Yeah, I thought the graphics were really good, actually. Not anything that would make me break immersion or anything. And it really did actually have pretty good immersion, especially for such a small enclosed space. So,
Yeah, they do a good job with the environments. I think they vary the environments, the way that they look and feel from level to level. They don't Things don't feel the same. They have you doing different things. Wes, what did you think? Did you? Because I know you played this recently this week. What did you think visually? Did you think it was good?
Yeah, I think it looked good. I would call this high quality and low detail. There's not a whole lot of very intricate, detailed textures in it, but it does look very good. It looks like a real space. It does develop a real sense of presence in it. And like you said, it's not overly cartoony, but at the same time, I could see this being porting very well into the Quest because it's not a whole lot going on here from a texture perspective. But yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on the graphics, but we'll talk about the main element of the game, which is the gameplay. So what you actually do in the game. And as it was already said, it's kind of a trial and error, escape the room type game. So the theme is that you're a secret agent. It has a really cool intro. Actually, did you watch the intro with it's like it's got a James Bond sort of themed track, and there's a little shit going around there. It's really cool the way they did the intro. And you're an agent, and you've got these missions. So you've got, I think originally it launched with 4 missions, and then they've given you an extra two free, which are DLC missions. There's 6 missions in total. It took me about 3 hours to finish all 6. So about 30 minutes each, I would imagine it averages out. Uh, yeah, so what you can it's a seated game, so you sat on a chair. Everything's kind of within reach, but if it isn't within reach, you could got this like a telekinesis sort of power where you can point at an object and grab it and then like pull it towards you. You can even levitate objects and have them pin them up. So if you've got some instructions or something, you can have them floating in air so you can look at them. Really cool mechanic. Actually, it works really well. It means that you can just sit. You don't have to like get up out of your chair and walk around. Um, there's good variety to the levels. I'll pass it over to you. What did you think to the levels themselves? Because I know you've played all 6 levels, so you've got to experience them all. What did you think to the variety? Did they mix it up enough for you? Didn't get samey?
Oh, very much so. Each level, scenery wise, is very different from the last. The gameplay concept is pretty much the same throughout. Story wise, you're always in some sort of space that's controlled by the enemy, the Doctor Zor or whatever. Like you'll be in his and I don't know. It's hard to remember what each one of these areas was called, but you're in like a chemical lab one time that's his chemical lab. He's developing a virus in, and then you go onto his submarine and onto his plane. So they're story wise, it's the same, but the environments themselves are all very diverse. Underwater, in the air, in the city, in the country. It's all very, very different from one another, and it's refreshing as you play through the game.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they start off you're in a car having to escape back of an aeroplane. You're trying to pretend to be a window washer while you try and break into a lab and break some sort of code for a contagion or something. And then there's a submarine one. There's a one when you're in a log cabin and you're on a train. So they've really done a good job of varying the environments and the missions, and it does feel like it fits as well. It flows through like there's kind of an arching story. But let's talk a bit more about the gameplay itself in terms of Ruuts. How did you feel? Because I know you've got a certain point where you've got a little bit frustrated with this.
Well,
So how did you feel about this gameplay?
well,
wise?
anybody that's watching this video, if you're not listening to it and you're watching it, like how many times is this person? This is why I chose this clip. Like how many times has this person died from this little submarine thing? I must.
Is this your?
No, it's not me. Is it you? I don't think it's Wes's either. Maybe it is.
I don't know. This person's doing this is pretty much exactly what
Maybe it was you.
This is your footage.
it looks like my video.
It probably is your video. I always try to pick yours if I can. But anyway, you die so many times, it can be very frustrating. I think it's the gameplay is different than most puzzle games, and I do like it. It's, like the first thing you go in there, you see the water going out and you see an off thing, so you switch it and like, okay, now what? And then all of a sudden all sorts of shit starts happening and you die and you're like, okay, I guess I needed to do something else. And so you're slowly working your way through. So this is a puzzle game you're gonna need some patience on, but I think as far as gameplay wise, it was very fun. I enjoyed it. I couldn't. Once I got through this one, I had to stop because I like my Rift S and I didn't want to smash it. But yeah, it's definitely, the gameplay is done very well. But that's my biggest problem is that there's so much repetitiveness, it can get a little frustrating.
Yeah, you every time you die, you have to redo the level from the beginning. So you've got to. It's kind of like that film with Tom Cruise. Was it?
Live, Die, Tomorrow. What is that? Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. Is it something like whereas basically like Groundhog Day, where he comes back to life and he keeps dying over and over again until he figures out how to get through the fight, the battle. But it's kind of like that, where you every time you get a little bit further forward and you figure, and then they'll throw something else at you. Some of them are more difficult than others, like the new DLC, which we talked about in the show. It wasn't anywhere near as difficult as the others, I didn't find. But this one that we've got on the screen with the submarine is definitely the most difficult. It's got a lot of different things that they throw at you. It was actually my second favorite level. I really enjoyed it. I think because of the amount that they throw at you. I do like a challenge personally with these puzzle games. I don't want to, like the new DLC was a bit disappointing for me because I only died twice and it just felt a bit too easy. But I know, Wes, I did watch your playthrough of this level and it's like 36 minutes for you to complete it, and there was some edits in there, so it must have taken you nearly an hour maybe to just to do this one level.
Yes, it was well over an hour, and I did edit it quite a lot, especially in the second half of the video. If you guys want to laugh at my dumbass mistakes, watch that video from the beginning. You have to watch it from the beginning to get some perspective of what I'm editing out. Because every time you die, like you said, you start from the beginning. And by the time you get toward the end of this puzzle, there's a good 3 to 5 minutes of preparation that you go through before you go into the finishing sequence where I die and I die and I die. So it's quite funny. That's the reason I edited it down like that. But yeah, it was well over an hour. And the challenge of this level, I didn't mind. It was a good challenging level, and I like a challenge. It was that repetitiveness of having to do all that preparation over and over and over again. That's what really frustrated me about this level. And just so everyone knows, this level plays differently than the other 5 levels. You know, the other 5 levels, it's choose your moves carefully because the wrong move will kill you. But in this submarine level, your structure is failing, the hull is being breached. You have about 10 seconds to figure out what to do. So instead of choose your move wisely or you'll die, it's find what the right move is now or
Frantic.
you're going to die. Yeah. And again, I don't mind the pressure and all that, but after you die 10 times, you get tired of doing all this stuff over and over again. I really wish there was some kind of a checkpoint where you could save your progress and just figure it out, you know, from there. But other than this level, I enjoyed this game very much. It was not too difficult. Like I said before, the most of the puzzles are trial and error, but it's not completely trial and error. There are hints that you can find. There is some logic involved in certain uh, puzzles more than others, obviously. But for the most part, when you complete a level, you feel like you've accomplished something, and it's satisfying and it's fun. Really, it was just the one level that I was highly frustrated in, and even that one though, when I finished it, I felt a sense of accomplishment. So, all in all, I enjoyed the gameplay of this game. It's creative puzzles and a creative story as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on it. We'll give our conclusions. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is the best escape the room game that's on the market at the moment. I can't think of another escape the room game type game that is as good as this for me personally. I haven't tried every single one of them, so maybe there are some that are better. But just the production values, the visuals, the design of the levels are really creative and good. The sound, which we didn't really talk about, but the voice acting is good. It's got a good product. It's a good game. It's 18.99. Is it worth that pounds?
You know,
I don't know.
at one time, I would have said no, but the way that they keep supporting this game and adding to it, maybe, maybe it is.
Yeah, I mean, it does come on sale on a regular basis. I think it's on sale right now, in fact. So, on Steam, I believe it's on for like 11.99 or something. So you can pick it up cheaper. Like I said, it took me about 3 hours to do all these 6 levels. It's just 3 hours worth of gameplay. Is it worth that? It's a subjective thing. So I don't like telling people what they should pay for these games. I think that they should decide. But it's definitely one to pick up. Whether you pick it up now, pick it up on a sale, it's a highly recommended for me personally. Roots, what do you think?
I agree. I even if you like puzzle games, I mean, even if you're not the most into puzzle games like me, like you said, every level is so unique that I enjoyed every bit of that I play. Even the frustration, like Wes said, when you finish it, when you complete that mission and you're not blowing up and you've actually ascended, it feels good. It felt real good. I felt like celebrating. So, but
Yeah. Wes, anything else you want to say on it?
Yeah, I'll say that while this isn't my favorite escape the room style game, it's probably the most well done from a gameplay perspective and just a pure overall quality perspective.
What
This is
What
a
is
very
your favorite, just out of curiosity?
uh, I would say I like Chair in a Room Greenwater more than this
Oh, I've not played that yet, actually.
because of the story elements and mainly that because of the story elements of it. The puzzling and things are more creative and challenging in this game, but I just like the story and the environments and the atmosphere of the Greenwater game better.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's the one for me. I need to check that out. It's a horror game. That's the main reason why I've not tried it yet, but definitely I'll put that up towards the top of my list. So
I think you can handle it. It's not terrifying. It's dark, kind of a thriller, but it's not like overbearingly terrifying or anything.
yeah. Okay, so that's going to do it for this review. It's a recommend from all of us. It's price subjective, obviously. We'll let you decide what you think it's worth, but it does come on sale on a regular basis. So, and that'll do it. So, if you liked this video, like it. If you didn't like it, fuck off. That's it.
That's pretty much it.
See you guys later.
Yeah, take it
Speak to
easy.
you later. Bye.